For many people, getting a Mercedes would be like a dream come true, and why not? The cars are beautiful, they've got great colors, German styling, so what could possibly go wrong? Well, we all know that these cars are expensive, but it goes a lot further than that, and in my opinion, you should never consider buying one of these, because once you get in, it's very hard to get out. Most people are going to buy a Mercedes because of how they look. The logo on the front gets bigger and bigger every year. It never was that big in the old days. It used to be like the size of a quarter, but this is what people are looking for. They want a car that has that Mercedes look and they need the logo everywhere. Now this is a 2019 GLE 350. It's one of their mid-size SUVs, but the price is not mid-size. It cost over $60,000. Now I had access to this thing for a week, and I personally thought I was going to fall in love with it, and that'd be easy because the outside's beautiful and the inside is even better. It's loaded with wood, leather, and it's got to be one of the most beautiful interiors I've ever seen. And then at night, the party comes alive with this LED lighting. You can set it to any color you like. Now this has nothing to do with really using your car. It's all about the Mercedes look, because that's what's going to pull you in. But now reality sets in and we've got to actually use this vehicle. Now this is the ultimate in laziness. You can't just pull these seats forward. You've got to hold a button down while the seat electrically adjusts itself so that you can get into the third row. Now you better be small because look at the size of that opening. This is completely a joke. When I measured this, it's only about 7 inches, and even my little kids could barely get into the back. This was the first of one of many annoyances with this thing that I could not believe. And remember, 60 grand for this thing. This was the next problem. These electronics that seem so cool in the car were the most annoying things around. Now we've got a little snow here, but this thing's an SUV. This thing had pop-ups, beeps, alarms. It never shut up the whole time I was driving. Even in the parking lot, it was giving me alerts for things that weren't even there. This thing drove me so crazy, I quickly learned how to disable most of those systems so they would finally stop beeping and I could concentrate on actually driving. And after I finally shut those alarms off, this is what I got to hear. Squeaking already happening from the back of the car, and it got even worse. These LEDs that seem so cool, look what they do to your side vision. You can't even see out the windows properly. It was so distracting, this feature that seems so amazing. Mercedes even put a nasty surprise for something as simple as a lug nut. They've come up with their own design that's got this little star pattern, and you can't use a regular lug nut tool. You've got to get a special Mercedes socket just to even remove your wheel. Resale value on Mercedes is not good news either. It's a 2017 GLS 450. It's only got 27,000 miles on it and it's even certified. Now they're asking $45,000 for it, but the real sad story is this. The original buyer paid almost $82,000 for this just 2 years earlier. This thing almost lost half its value with 2 years and under 30,000 miles. Another example, you've got a Mercedes E-Class E300. It's only got 17,000 miles on it. That's nothing. And this thing's certified as well with a price tag of $37,000. But 2 years earlier, they sold this vehicle for $61,000. Again, a giant loss in a short amount of time. Parts don't get any better for Mercedes because they're expensive and there's lots of them. And we can start with this set of windshield wipers for an S550. They're almost $200 a pair, and you're supposed to change them every 10,000 miles. Here's a battery and it's only $45 and it's got the Mercedes logo. But unfortunately, that's not a car battery. That's just some weird battery that you need to put in your car to hold some type of memory. Mercedes are loaded with bizarre parts like this that constantly need attention. Service is another thing that's easy to understand, but it's hard on the wallet. Now for a Mercedes, you don't really just get oil changes. They've got an A and a B service. You get the A service when you hit 10,000 miles and the B service when you hit 20, and you alternate throughout the life of your vehicle. Now that A service is going to run you anywhere between $200 and $300, which is essentially just an oil change, and the B, which involves some filters, is going to be usually over $700. And when you compare this to other companies like Toyota, Honda, and Lexus, it's completely different. Most of those cars hardly need any service at all until 100,000 miles, but Mercedes charges you the whole way. The other big shock is with fuel economy. Now, of course, Mercedes tells the truth around what they get per gallon for their cars, and some of them get as much as 30 miles a gallon, which sounds great, until you realize that all Mercedes require super unleaded, and that means that you're going to pay 30 to 40% more for your gas at the pump, which takes all that fuel savings and just wipes it out. This is a huge shock for many people because they never realized how much gas was going to cost them. I never could figure out how to put the heat on in this car. I just wanted to blow out the center vents and I couldn't get it to activate. The controls are not intuitive. Buttons go different ways. Some things light up icons on the dashboard while others are pop-up messages. I just thought to myself that if somebody was older with this car, there's no way they were going to use all these features. It was just very awkward and confusing. Mercedes have lots of weird problems. For instance, here's a headlight from a 2017 S550. It's only 2 years old with 30,000 miles, and the headlight is filled with water. Now, these are super expensive headlights, and when I talked to the dealer about it, they told me there's a fix, and I assumed that meant replacing it. But in fact, if you look at your owner's manual, water in the headlight is a normal thing, and they say it's fine to live with, but if you complain enough, the dealer will put some drying packs inside the headlights of a car that cost over $100,000. After a week of having this thing, I couldn't wait to get rid of it. It was awkward, cold, and I didn't like it at all. A car has to be more than just good looking. It's got to be practical and something that you enjoy, especially if you're going to spend $60,000 on it. But the biggest problem of all is resale value, because it tells the real story. When you go to a dealership and see these beautiful cars, it's all fake. It's just generated to make you think that they're worth something. But resale value is the truth, because that's based on what owners are willing to pay for a car long after it's sold new. Now that's determined by if the car is going to last. That's why even a 10-year-old Toyota still has real value, because that car can get you to work and you can drive it for years. So if you own a Mercedes and you love it, good luck to you, but I can guarantee you will not get the resale value you ever expected. So the point of this video was to share my experience, and you can draw your own conclusion. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to my channel for more videos coming up. Hi, Mercedes.
What can I do for you?
Why are Mercedes oil changes so expensive?
What would you like to do?